to another level. I'm about to make you get it on the floor. We don't want no problems, we just came to party. When I leave, you gon' scream out encore. That I'm the best that you ever seen. I'm a walking, money-making machine. I can lean on the beat, massive Goliath. Don't really talk much, ninja, silent. Ride with the finest, wrists on chill. Change the climate, the whole big wheels. Time for toys, beat back up. I can outrun the road runner.
This is some hot shit we got going on. Look at the gas. Oh my God, it came on the fastest, man. Put the guns up, get the funds up, man. Bullets free. Say that one more time, man. Pop it. What's up, viewers? Drop that champagne. Pinkies out. You know what I'm saying? Pinkies out. Pinkies out. Boston, man. Hey, shout out this episode. Pinkies out. Pinkies out. 51. Who's 50? Hey, who the champagne toast brought to you by? Who the champagne toast brought to you by tonight? Hey, man, let me get it right, man. The champagne toast is brought to you today, man. Last camera back. By KQ Crowns, man. Shout out to KQ Crowns. Champagne toast donated. Hey! Toasting up, man. What's up? We in here, man. 51. Ooh. Ooh, there's some good wine there, man. Ooh. Champagne on me, you know. This some good champagne, huh? Lovely champagne, man. Whose champagne is it? Yeah. Hey. Salud. Salud. Hey, shout out to the champagne plug. Shout out to the champagne plug. We can't. Man, shout out to that champagne. Man. Shout out to it. You just missed the champagne plug. Welcome in. We're here, man. Welcome. Pick this out. Everybody pick this out, baby.
It's you, Bill. It's you, Bill. Why not, man? Why not? This here could be your champagne. Tonight's episode. You want me? You want me first? First, you want me, man?
Huh?
You ready?
Yeah, man. You know I'm ready for that, man.
You ready for me too?
Yeah, what's the race?
Round one, you ready?
All right.
51. We 51.
51 in.
Tonight's episode is brought to you by this hot Latin bar in downtown Portland. One of the hottest Latin bar in downtown Portland. The hottest motherfucking Latin bar in downtown Portland. Suavecito!
217!
Northwest 2nd Avenue.
217!
Northwest 2nd Avenue. Suavecito.com. Are you answering questions, man? I'm telling you, man.
Shout out to Suavecito.
Shout out to all the vatos and the paisa.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, don't forget the mamacitas.
It's plenty of them there. It's plenty of them there. It's plenty of them there, man. It's plenty of them.
I'm about to double back.
We got some, they don't know who's the guest we got on tonight, man. We got some great guests tonight, man. I'm excited to even be, sitting right here right now doing this. You know what I'm saying? With my guys, man. Hey, man, you got a story to tell. Yeah, we're going to tell y'all everything. We're going to tell y'all. We're going to bring y'all up to date. And we'll get more into the story on another episode, man. You know that, but,
All right.
Yeah, man. Hey, that love is stronger. We got a love is stronger crew in here, man. Hey, shout out to my guy Lionel, my guy Alex. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. These are cats that I grew up with. They like older than me. You know, I watched them. You know, they bullied me a little bit back in the day.
Facts. Facts. I could attest to that.
They bullied me, but they made sure, you know what I'm saying? It was tough, man. So we had to do it like that.
Cannabis, cocktails, conversations. I'm trying to slow my bro down. He didn't get the cue. I'm trying to slow my bro down.
That bet was
So
ringing
we
for a
start
long time.
ringing for a long time, man. We want to get into a show. I know we all excited, man, for these folks to be here, man. We got so many stories, man. They came from the neighborhood just like I came from, like we came from. You know? So we excited, man. This is history, you know. This is, folks we looked up to, folks we watched younger growing up, we respect and still respect now. Man, I went wine testing for the very first time, man, this here dairy wine, man. Shout out to my guy Dana and the nice wine specialist out there, man. He took real good care of me. I can't mention the name.
Shout out to Dana. How about that?
Dana, yeah, Dana, man.
Dana!
Dana wine specialist. I think it's like Kaylee. I think it's Kaylee. But shout out to you too. I understand. Hey, man, I understand, man. No love lost. Dana, I appreciate you as well. I appreciate you. We'll connect way more. Things happen. Keep hustling. So what? Keep hustling. So what? We thank you for this as well, man. We wish we could have, gave the full rundown of this, man. But I had so much love. I went wine testing for the very first time. It's somewhere I was unfamiliar. You know what I'm saying? Different part of Oregon. But it's like going out there to have a meeting before I went wine tasting. With wineries and with a small bar way out there in different parts of Oregon. It just, it's dope to have your name travel and get phone calls, hours away. And, be able to conduct business out there as well. And then go to the winery, go wine tasting. Then they go wine tasting for the very first time. Yeah, just talk to them about, the show. Right. And then you got a certain palate for everybody. It's a certain palate for everybody. And everybody has a certain taste in the palate. But to go wine tasting for the very first time, and the experience I had, man, to get treated so nice, so lovely, man, by by the staff that was there, even the greeters, greeted me so well, and it was just it was a great time out there, man. Cheers to you guys out there for that nice wine. Great experience. You'll see me again. We do business more. Thank you. So
You show us the.
I'll pick out here. So you roll it here. No. I don't have it here. I'll pick you out here. I don't have it here. Glass too small. Bigger glass, bigger rim, you have here. You know, he hold it here. He smell it. Ooh. He smell it. This here is empty right there. You know, the bowling glass is here though. $1,000 for liquor right here, man. $1,000 to put your here liquor in this here bowling glass and for the house to drink. $1,000 sip, man. Ooh. This here is the glass you want. It's the baller glass. Fine for the ballers. If you're in the baller, don't ask about it. It's that simple. $1,000, man, to have your nice, fine liquor cocktail sip. I'm the guy Gordos. When my guy Fresh ran with the show, I'm gonna throw it back to him, man, so he can really give y'all a head up about our nice lucky guest. We appreciate y'all a lot.
Quick introduction, man. I'm first. First option, second to none. That's all I have to say. I'll get back to that in a minute.
Charlie Raw, OPS is not glad to be here. With that, be here. You hope viewers out there, touch that button.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I'm your guy, Big Money. We all gonna get back to the guest, so I don't want y'all to feel like we skipping over y'all.
Absolutely,
So it's your guy, Big Money, man. We appreciate you viewers for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, that bell notification, share this video. It does help with the YouTube algorithm to get this video out to more viewers. We're gonna give you guys another good show, another great show. We have some awesome guests tonight, so I'm gonna pass it to the right, man, and let my guy introduce himself. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Safe travels, man. Shout my guy B Smooth ain't in the he ain't in the building right now. But man, I got Joe's back there, man. Joe! Shout out my guy Joe, man. 100 all the way, man. My guy Joe's back, man. Joe took a little trip, man. Refresh his mind. Everybody stood behind him on this trip he took. And shit, he back, man. He back with us, man. That's my guy when it comes to shit to shit. We dropped down, man. That's another thing we'll tell y'all about later on. First, what it do? How you doing?
We're doing all right, man. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get our guests now, man. We're gonna let our guests introduce themselves, come in their own way. Like I said, these are two brothers that I respect. I love these brothers, you know what I'm saying? And actually, I'm gonna say it live, man. They some of the first brothers to really tap in and believe in like our whole thing outside of this Tuesday night. They came and hit me up. Do some work for them.
Let me dig this motherfucking
bell
pipe.
without no complaint though, man. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm glad that we actually got this going here. I'm gonna let these brothers though introduce themselves. I love y'all, man. Y'all know that.
We'll start with here with Mo, then we come back over here.
My name is Lionel Irvin, and first shout out to my man, Welcome Home family. You know what I mean? I love that. And yeah, man, I'm loving stronger. I'm just reintegrating back into the community. I was gone for 15 years. I've been out about 3 years now. And Love and Stronger is our movement and our things about unity in the community, community accountability, right? Mental health service for our youth, reducing the recidivism rate. We got a lot of different boxes. One of the reasons that we're excited to come here to the Cannabis talk, because all our Cannabis brothers have a huge role in what's going on in the community. They play a huge part in it, and we want to make them aware of some of the things they can do, right? Because there's all these experiences, all our brothers is going inside of them. They need to be getting more than just an eighth, right? And so we dialed in on that, man. So I'm happy to be here. I love these guys. I know a lot of these guys all my life. D2 embellished the story a little bit, talk about we was bullying. A little bit because you had to be really fast to catch D2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so what too many people catching him? Yeah. I'm trying to catch the guy who got him. He probably Usain Bolt or something. But this is my bro, Alex Clay, man. We 30, 40 years deep. Right. I took a long walk. He held my hand the whole time. So I just commend y'all for holding y'all guys' hand because it ain't easy. Especially when you start getting into the decades and you start seeing who really care about you. When you got a sight out of mind. So I keep my man with me. He's also, the brains of the operation. He don't like when I say it, but he went to school. He got a lot of wealth of knowledge. And so us combined together with my lived expertise, in his wealth of knowledge, we're able to do things in the community that my mother envisioned, but I didn't even think was possible. So yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yes. Well, okay, that's on me. Let's drink to that. Let's drink to Lionel's welcome home as well.
All
His
right.
vision for Love is Stronger.
Again, love is strong.
Yeah, Love is Stronger. So my name is Alex Clay, and I know most of you guys just from the neighborhood. Primarily, we all grew up together, and then from school and sports. But I also represent Love is Stronger. I am what you would call me, the developer. He says the brains, but I'm
The director.
I'm the director, more or less of events and projects. So, but I don't really know what to say to you guys, but I think questions kind of work better because I'm not really like a good freelance talker. But at the end of the day, I've gone to school, but I really am from the streets. Portland, born and bred, 503. 97211.
Hey,
Up.
97211.
972.
I mean, we all know the script, and so I'm proud of what we've done in our generation. But at the end of the day, what's going on in these streets with the youth and their lack of guidance, it's just out of control right now. And so Lionel's come home with a really good infrastructure and a program of how to address these issues. And at the end of the day, it's resources for sure. It's funding, yeah. But can I sit down and have a conversation with you and touch you and say, look, man, if you need some help, holla at me. How can we create a program? How can we create your plan to move forward and be successful like you're saying, like we're all doing here? We all started with sports. Maybe that's where we got our structure and our understanding from, but not everybody's going to be in sports. Some people are going to be in music. Some people are going to be in politics. So how do we spread that word? How do we figure out what your niche is and have you fine tune and find your optimal potential and move you forward? And then you can pass it down.
I remember growing up younger, we had things like midnight basketball with Rob. We had Up Club.
Right.
We had Upper Room.
Upper Room.
We had so many other things out there. We had them advocates in the community. Like I said, Rob Richardson was a great one. Bill Porter was a great one.
Shout out to Dollar Bill.
Tim was, so it was so many positive influences we had, but still had a connection to the streets, had a connection to whatever side it was, had a connection to, the government as well.
Yeah. So
they had certain programs. But now, like, the question is now, like, where are them advocates that was back then, or who are them advocates now that's in the community?
It's us.
That's in the community that we can go to get something like it.
Because, like, I even look at, in most of our families, you gotta think, back when I was young, we had grandmas, you know what I'm saying? You had that, but nowadays, like, aunts and uncles and stuff like that, they kind of not so much drop the ball, but it's the same way. There's a gap in between that family life, and there's a gap in between that advocate. You know what I'm saying? The next advocates, and I feel like we the generation that's supposed to bring it back because a lot of us got a lot of pull out here. You know what I'm saying? Just from having a cool rep, regardless of what we did, we had a cool we always had a cool rapport, cool demeanor about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And it was respectable. We always gave respect. I think bringing that respect factor back. You know what I'm saying? That's a big part of it. But the main thing, though, is accountability. Holding each other accountable for, our actions, man, real shit. You know what I'm saying? It's holding each other accountable for our actions. But, yeah, Alan, you kind of, you kind of led us into this. We're gonna stick with this, man, because I want to ask questions, man, about what is everybody, I asked this last week, what do y'all think is or why is stop the crime or stop the violence always the narrative of Black people? Always a narrative, period, amongst us. Why is that always our thing?
I just think it's a fear thing, but yeah, asking me, you know what I'm saying? You still on the same shit for 50, 70, 80 years. I think it's a sign of fear. You gotta change, sometimes you gotta change the narrative. You still saying stop the violence, but the violence continue even more. The shit keep on going on.
Is it fear to change?
In the inner city, it's political. It's huge.
It's definitely political, and
It's bigger. Yeah, it's bigger.
I really believe it go back to the 13th Amendment, right? When we were originally pretending to be free, and they needed more ways to get a hold of us to do some labor for free,
Right.
because it's still the same concept today. Everything I stand before you, I learned in prison. I mean, so I got 4 or 5 trades in there. I made 23 cents an hour. I was getting $280 a month, and they'd stab you to get the job because it's so hard to get that P grade.
Right.
But that's why it's the narrative, so they can get our young men right. It's the preschool to prison pipeline is a real thing, straight up, and that's why I say the cannabis community has a role to play, because this is one thing that our community leans on, because a lot of people are traumatized.
Right.
So we self-medicate.
Right.
So we know we self-medicate. You know, I'm an advocate for it versus the other stuff that they give us. But if we know our kids is going in there, or people going there self-medicate, we need to give them more than just the medicine.
Right.
The medicine always comes with instructions, right? And so that's very important, man. And it always does, right? And so that's what they're getting. And then one of the biggest things about the cannabis in Portland is the cannabis tax, right? Where the money going?
Right.
Boom, they looked up they didn't chase the money down, so the money been going to the prosecution office. So our kids been going there buying the weed so they can get prosecuted. Right?
So that's big.
And it's the cannabis tax is big skins.
You're allowed to say cannabis cocktails conversation.
Cannabis cocktails conversation.
You ain't ready for this conversation, man. Listen, I'm telling you right now, if y'all ain't ready for this conversation, man, sometimes you talk to a root, man. If you ain't ready, man, put your TVs on mute. But the shit can get real.
We got some new regulations, right? So we can't smoke inside no more.
Mm.
So look, we just step outside. We're gonna bring y'all outside with us. We're gonna fire up the set. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna come back in and finish this conversation. I want you to finish off where you left off, and we're gonna, and
How about that cannabis
put your
tax?
questions in the comments now, so we can tap in with y'all, and y'all can ask these brothers comments. But it's time to fire up the set, and it's brought to you tonight by our 1-year anniversary party, Cannabis Cocktails Conversation.
Hey, hell better, boy.
And viewers, if y'all smoking with us, man, go ahead and drop that tree emoji.
Okay,
Let y'all know y'all burning with us, and we gonna tap back in with y'all in just a minute.
Hit that like button.
Hit that like button. That's right.
Hit that like button.
Drop that tree emoji, viewers.
Drop that tree.
I got this shit about the Game Boy if you already knew. Swing it, mama. I rep the game until the death of me. Look. Yeah, back to getting money, but we still left out in 2019.
Go ahead, Mel.
Seen a lot of fake shit, but niggas call it real. What these niggas
No, I'm talking about since Pop Warner. He's doing Pop Warner. Pop Warner.
Oh, I got a story that you probably don't even remember. I was in my Burner Park. Burner Park, what I did? Yes. Oh my God.
He's on the
I
basketball.
got some Lincoln Cardinal shorts.
So Lincoln Cardinal short.
Lincoln Cardinal shorts. You know, I didn't go to Lincoln.
You did not go to Lincoln.
Where you get them from? You come up there like, okay, where you from? He grabbed on his shorts, like take them off. I'm like, I ain't taking nothing. I wasn't cussing back then. Right. I ain't taking shit off. It was like, take them off. You didn't go. I said, demos on mine. Demos like, say, you got it.
You might have been the only demo ever pressed by a partner. But you had the right card though, because he really was a demo at heart. His dad was in there chasing 30 years as a
That was in there saying, "Look at my man." His dad was get expelled. I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, he really did. He went down with my grandfather, then, so you know.
Oh man, trust me, I was in that boat with him. I was in that
Viewers, if y'all smoking with us, man, drop that tree emoji, man. Let us know, man. Put your questions in the comments. We get to come to y'all.
My puff for the day.
And with the stage with it, man.
Hey man,
We outside with it,
it's
man.
a whole new vibe.
It's real show, right? It's a real shit right here, man. It's real shit, Big Wood. Hey, be playing here, smoke my guy Joe. Run this shit, Fat Claim.
We wake up for the crew every week, but we let the guests go to advertise whatever they got.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it's hard to do shit, man.
I see you with the new second fast going on. You did it again.
This is what you call a session. It's like going backwards and the old niggas.
Trying something.
Yeah, this is that Marshall campus. Now,
Hey, we do thank you viewers for tuning in. Y'all make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you
What's up, sponsor?
Appreciate it.
What's up, sponsor?
Talk to us. We can't be owned, man. For those who just tuned in, we are firing up the set right now. If you missed the announcement, we can't smoke inside no more, so we outside. Y'all smoking with us, drop that.
They're here for the anniversary.
Y'all drinking with us, drop that champagne.
Like a variety.
We about to take it back in, give y'all another good show. Here we come, viewers. We coming back right now, man. We just have to get our fire up to set on. Jay Stella. Here I go. Here I go.
You looking for me? Here I go. Yellow fire.
hey man, hey. So what's up with that? That shit feels right.
Oh, I thought they was coming back.
One red wine going to a state. You know what I'm saying? Gotta go out there and get a tulip. Ooh, it hit more where it hurt. Man. It hit more where it hurt.
I'm fresh off the boat, man.
He said, I'm fresh off the boat.
Fresh off
the boat. Welcome
Y'all know what we do, man. Cannabis cocktails conversation.
Cannabis conversation.
Yeah. Put that thumbs up. Put that thumbs down if you're a bum.
Question ready, viewers. Be back in there.
You know, I don't believe in magic. He just working his gift. No, say it that way. He just working his
I'm
gift.
happy to come and hope to be gangsta. No more one show.
I'm thinking your hey, that's He said no more one show.
No more one show.
That's why I was on the dime. No more 8 shows. It's in you.
I love that.
Uh-oh. It's that time to get back to the set. Y'all know what that is. Y'all know what that means. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
You don't know Barry used to be skinny. Hey, hell no.
Cannabis cocktails conversation.
Hey, viewers, we appreciate y'all for taking that break with us, man. You know, we have to improvise, you know what I'm saying? Because the show is going to go on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Shout out to Swat.
So, necessary. Right.
So we going back to what my guy Lionel was saying, man. I heard, we said that cannabis tax is going prosecution.
Put you away.
That's entrapment.
Defense to help you get off.
How do you kick them doors down and stop that?
Well, now we identify it, right? So they're gonna immediately change course, and that's fine. That's what we want to do. But what we gonna do as a cannabis community, because it's a lot of power.
Yeah.
And it, like really, it's not a lot of brothers in the cannabis community, which is a lot of money in there.
Talk to
You know what I mean?
They put 1,000 little
But we
small
spending the
rooms,
money.
Right. We spending the money. Yeah. All day
They
long.
not only spend the money, they advertising is off of us.
Yeah.
Because the people who are trying to go get
talk to them,
it's going to look. They want to emulate a D2.
They put the
or
image.
Mr. Miller,
Yeah, they put the
right?
image
And
on
so
it.
they
Yeah.
see. So it's a big thing. That's why it's really important that we hold the farms, right? That's pushing that 160, 170 pounds a month.
Yeah.
It's important that we hold them to come back and bring some of that money back into the community, not just outside of the tax.
Right.
But our kids are spending that, and our kids not only are our kids going there spending, right? But they're not giving them nothing. That's just like the most thing I want to tell y'all is that with the cannabis community, the farmers and the dispensary owners, they are obligated to make information ready available for our young men. Because before, when I was shooting at people, I was going to get some weed first.
Right.
And so let me get in. I ain't really been smoking, so I just smoke some now.
Right.
I'm high now, right?
So
I really don't be smoking like that.
So y'all weed farms hear that though, man. I want them weed farms to hear that, man.
They should be investing into this. The weed.
Oh, talk about that.
If you guys got cannabis conversation, right? You guys is typical. I just know y'all personally, right? It is so strong and long that how could they not be coming back? Because anything that y'all smoke on here, anything that y'all put on here, it's gonna be my little nephews that's 18, 19 right around. They're gonna go get it.
And see, that's the thing. We buying our weed. I'm putting it out there, man.
That don't make no sense.
That don't make no sense.
The owner told me, man, he make $10,000 a day. Why do we need to sponsor?
Yeah.
He selling some Bama weed. I told him we're not pressing him.
That's the mentality that we need. He making $10,000 a day off our kids. He need a sponsor.
Everything we doing.
Because we're going to be the ones in the community dealing with these kids that you're going to get this money from. You could just be a piranha and you could prowl in the community. You can eat on it. Because at the end of the day, weed wasn't legal. I got homeboys right now. I got life sentences.
Yeah, over
I
weed.
just left guys.
Right.
I hurt somebody. I got to come home. This guy's in there right now got life sentences. So you don't need no sponsor. Right? He really don't. But if we don't hold him accountable, then we don't press a line on him and say, no, you don't need no sponsor. But
shut the motherfucking store down our neighborhood.
Our kids are coming to spend with you.
That's it.
So do we take our money out of? Do we take our money away from that in order?
We start highlighting the ones that are really dealing with us. Right? You start come on, Portland's black community. Right. 2.2% black. Right. Right. Less than 1% black men. Right. If that man, well, we only get it 1% of that. That's like $1 million. That's like 10,000 people.
We got more blacks in jail than we do on the street.
All day long. You ever go into a prison, you will see them in there.
You're allowed to sell cannabis cocktails conversation.
That's what we really selling.
Man, this is I'm feeling good, man. This conversation is getting heated. I mean, it's not getting heated, but it's getting heated. I'm loving the conversation, man. It's getting real.
Dropping jewels, though.
Right now, man, we just get ready to go in the air, man.
Oh,
what in the air is we talk about any and everything. Give it to y'all raw and cut. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We tap in with the viewers, of course. Whatever questions you guys may have asked, we come tap in with you guys. We want you guys to also tap in with the conversation. We have these young kings up here. Any questions you want to shoot at them? We are in the air. Y'all know how it go, man. So let's tap in with some of the viewers. Actually, right now, viewers, what y'all got any questions for these young men up here? Any questions for these young men? I heard Alex earlier say that he'd rather have questions. So let's get him some questions, thrown his way. Y'all know how it is, man. We in the air, man. Go ahead.
I'm not a viewer though, but for Alex,
yeah.
What is like the hardest part to overcome of putting an event together? Not just like not a regular event, but let's say like a super big event, something that is big for you. What is something to overcome?
Permits. It's gonna be the permits.
Talk about
it. Permits is just a process, especially in Portland. So no matter what you do, you have to follow that process to a T. You gotta cross your I's, you gotta dot your T's, and then sometimes it's like, during this era, some people are available and they're not. And you gotta think about regular life. Somebody's getting married, somebody's having, babies. There's different things that happen in our lives outside of our jobs. See, our jobs don't really define who we are. It's just what we do. So permit is just in order to have an event, in order to have this space, it has to be permitted some type of way, insurances. So overcoming those hurdles with making sure everything's done in a timely manner, and then you gotta have the resource to back it.
Man, talk about how we get blocked by gatekeepers that hold the permits.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Anybody, go ahead, because what it is.
The gatekeepers that hold the door to the community, right? Because the permits are, if they know that you're a brother already, your permits are already going to be stereotyped. But they can't stop you. You just got to know what to say on there. That's one thing that we lack is information. So when we started getting permits, we were putting too much information on there. So every time we had problems. And so we got with some people, like-minded people. There's a lot of allies. There's a lot of people that ain't black that love us.
Yeah.
And them is the ones we got to ride with. Right, we too busy trying to look for the ones that don't love us. I got a lot of allies that's not black, and so once I started getting with some of them to get the knowledge, then the permission became a lot smoother for me and Mr. Clay because now we put the information they would put on there. They ain't calling us down; they was calling us 3 or 4 times a day. We like, damn, they don't never let us go, but we just was giving them too much. So yeah, information.
I appreciate that. We do got a question from a viewer. Question for our little guest up here. What event changed your perspective on life? What event changed your perspective on life?
Oh,
that's for our guest.
I could talk all day. I just gonna let my guy get. Because if you won't, don't do that because I could talk all day long, man. But
we like to hear what he says. He has a very vast knowledge of things, so we like to hear what he says.
I would love to hear what Vince Chase plays like though.
So what the biggest event that changed my life? There's several events through a course of a 40-year span that perspective on life. Well, I just think the death that's occurred in my life, from my grandfather, my uncles, my best friend, grandfather. I think the death and the fact that you can't reach out to that person or speak to them again, and they had that knowledge or they gave you something that maybe you were too young to understand or know, and then years later, by the blessing of you live it, now you look back and reflect that and you like, man, I wish. Now I want to ask a question about what you just said. Just like we up here having these conversations, I want to know, what did you mean by that? And when that person said whatever they said, it came from a different viewpoint. And now when I'm stepping in these shoes, I may not have walked down that path, but now that question crossed my path as an adult. Now I'm like, man, what did you mean by that? It's so many levels. So I just think, I don't know. I think death is probably the biggest thing every time it happens, when it happens, who it is, that you lose out your life. And what did you gain from that relationship? What did you gain from that bond? I think death is probably the strongest thing that changes my perspective every time. It's not just once. It's like when it happens every time, it's like epic and continuous. It's a cycle. So it's probably death is every time. Someone, a loved one, just someone in general.
That's a good question.
Celebrities.
I love that you said now that it was multiple events that changed your life, right? Mm-hmm. One of the ones that changed my life was the protests. Because before the protests, just to pardon my French, right? I never even knew white people cared. Boom, did they have the protests? Right. And I was looking down there and it was all white. And it blew my head, but I couldn't get down there fast enough to talk to them because up to that point, I was 38, 39 years old. Up to that point, all my entire life, not only what I have been told, but what I had experienced, because I wasn't a citizen, that every time I deal with somebody that wasn't black, it was unfavorable. Right. And then here we go, it's 2,000-3,000 people up there screaming out George Floyd or whoever they're screaming. So I think that changed my perspective and really honed in the real true nature of Love is Stronger, to blur the lines because they want us to be separated. So I love how Al pointed out, because I could say I went to prison, all these things, but it's like always another thing that's going to help your perspective grow.
How did it make you feel to see 2,000, 3,000 white people pushing for a cause that you believe in?
Man, at first I was scared because it had to, I thought it was it had to be some type of trick. Right. But then I realized that they was really, because I was going down there, I was getting on the microphone down there. I was on them because I didn't want the people to steer the narrative. because the white guys were saying, "Hey, I'm down here for you, man." And so I would have to give them, if you down here for me, then this is what I need. Yeah. And so I was going down there. So I was excited. I'm still excited today from that. And I feel empowered because them is powerful allies. Wow. Them is soldiers of love. Right? And all of them, they was calling them riders. Only 10% of them was down there riding. The other 90% was just down there because they didn't know where else to go. They didn't know how else to support the movement. So that's why I went down there to tell them, no, I don't want to throw rocks at the police because these guys have just got jobs. I want you to come over here and get on KQ and get on Cannabis Club, put some pounds on the table.
Was it really a Black Lives Matter movement?
That's a political agenda, right? That's a movement to fund the police or whatever. But what it did do is shine a spotlight. America never ever talked about, since I've been alive, how unjust the whole process is for us. Yeah. Right. I mean, the whole process is unjust. Even they come and arrest us right now, they're gonna overcharge all of us. Yeah. Then we're gonna plea bargain to our original charge. If we was all white, we would all get undercharged and then plea bargain to a lesser charge.
So let me ask you this. If he's in charge. Let me ask you this then. Do you think that's because we not living up to our standards? Because nigga, we kings.
Well, I think some of us.
When I say live up to your standards, I mean in your walk, man. We got our own agenda. We don't need nobody to tell us how to live or how to govern us. You know what I'm saying? We free. So I think when we buy into like more of this political bullshit, you know what I'm saying? When we buy into that, it kind of fuck up. It distracts us from our main goal. You know what I'm saying? Because our goal don't have nothing to do with politics. You know what I'm saying? We people that walk with love anyway. That's just in us. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can connect with the love that's stronger. And that's why I feel like your spirit and our spirit recognize each other without talking. When I came up to you at the event the other day, you told me, I said, I got here a little late. You said your spirit is here. That's all that matters. You didn't say me. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? You feel a different connection. You know what I'm saying? And like that same connection you feel is the same connection in that bond we built back then. So it's like, nigga, I respect you as a king, and we should be living our life, nigga, how we see it, not how politics say, not how nobody say. Because I feel like we got to just break the rules in order for us to overcome what we're dealing with.
You're allowed to say Cannabis Cocktails conversations.
Like I said,
here on this show,
can I say this before you come y'all?
We medicate.
Y'all. Go ahead.
We conversate. Hey. We libate. Before we go back to first, we hydrate. Everybody hydrate, man. Shout out to the Hydro Boys, man, for this nice H2O
Hydro Boys
class fine water. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, bro. It's all you, bro. It's all you, bro. Go ahead, finish up, man.
We gotta have that same attitude, but don't, maybe not as doggish, but we was talking about football, before the game, y'all used to come bully us, then beat us on the field. So in a way, we gotta bring in with our conversation, though. We gotta be direct when we talk to them. Always direct. Not like, none of that modest shit. You know what I'm saying? We got to come out direct when we talking to them. And then, you know what I'm saying, we still got to be that dog when we on the playing field. You know what I'm saying? You got to let them know, man, we the king too. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't just keep disrespecting us, period. So I just think when us can face each other and talk to each other, we ain't got to worry about nobody governing us. You know what I'm saying? And that's not nothing to take away from them. They govern themselves. That's why you say it's a different term, because you're not going to treat me as if you would probably treat an outsider. You see what I'm saying? I'll fuck up too. We're going to give you another chance to fuck up, but you know what I'm saying? The next time you might have to really do some time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now somebody else, they new to us. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, we can't. We got to punish you right on back. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
In what way? What you talking about?
I'm saying kind of like how you said the justice system. Right. We can do the same crime that another person could do. Yeah. You do the same crime, but a white person, a black person. Now, I ain't trying to get into no white or black. I just want us as black people to govern ourselves. Because then we could go to the table like they doing. We should be at borders having import and exports. We shouldn't be going. They shouldn't have to control everything about us. We should be able to import, export freely.
Once you create your own system, you can do that. So we have to create our own system. Put the money to the right places. Like now they passed this big old infrastructure bill. Mm-hmm.
and it's to have 15 or 12 $20 bill, whatever, and it's to bridge communities back together. So basically, how Vancouver Avenue was torn down from the bridge, or the highway that that basically interrupted the whole black city, black communities, black businesses. The all black important redlining, yes.
See, that's cool.
So the infrastructure bill is to go to help basically create and build some new shit. I want to make sure though, a lot of that money as well is going towards the real communities, the black communities. We can read different infrastructures, different buildings. Now we got somewhere to help the youth.
Right.
We got somewhere to help the less fortunate.
Well, we can't be scared to separate, man. Because one thing we ain't scared to separate. Like if we could get into a disagreement with my aunt, you know what I'm saying? He might say, or I might say, I'm not gonna fuck with you for a while. Or we might just keep our distance for a while, but ain't no love lost type of thing. You know what I'm saying? When it should be opposite. We should be separating ourselves from systems that our spirit don't agree with. Right. So I'm saying separate ourselves from that. Because when they redline it, cool. All these things they don't want us out there, cool. We're gonna take what we got and make this motherfucker into, thug heaven or thug mansion where everybody on the same time. But we gotta be able to talk to each other, man. That's what it is. You gotta be able to talk. You gotta be willing.
Facts, appreciate it. We do got another.
Oh, go for it.
We do got another question from the viewers.
Then we come back to
Then we'll come back to right now. One of the viewers asked, "What does your ideal community look like?" As far as
Well, for me, my ideal community looks like it's a very diverse community, right? My ideal community looks like how my block looks. If I could duplicate what looks on my street, on every street, because we all neighbors, right? When you're a criminal, when I was a criminal, I didn't want the neighbor to even look at my house. Now that I'm a citizen, I want the neighbor to watch my house, right? So I'm knocking on my neighbor's door. Hey, these are my sons. They thirsty, give them something to drink. They just want to run, let me know. I'm gonna hit all the doors so they open up. So now when I hit my block, everybody wave. At first, they was looking, who was the big black guy? Right. All the tattoos. Now I'm like, oh, that's Lionel. Right. You know what I mean? So that's how my community looks when we're all connected. There's only a couple of black families on my block, unfortunately, that we still over there. But it don't matter what race you are, because it's only one race, the human race. Right. Yeah, what I want to feel is connected. You know what I mean? I don't want to have my neighbor that he's lived next to me. I don't know nothing about him. He just going on about his business. I got kids over here. I want to get, boom. What's up, bro? So that's how my neighbor, how it used to look. It takes a village to raise a kid. I want when my kids walk the street on my block, I know the lady on the corner, if they do something wrong, she's gonna call me because they broke the hoop down there. Right. Oh, hey, mother, yeah. You said call you. They broke the hoop. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Yeah. You feel me? Right. Yeah, and so that's what my community looks like. That's how it was growing up.
So it's funny you say that because like I work in the Clackamas district. I tell them that all the time. Where capitalism and communism come in at, and capitalism, especially when you rich white folks don't know community. That's why they take over communities. And that's why they go to our communities to try to emulate what they have in us. So same thing as you said, and I look at that.
We allow it though.
Of course
they don't take over. We allow it. We allow that shit.
We do allow it to a certain degree.
We're afraid that we
they do take over.
We'd be afraid to go press somebody's doorstep and let them know how it goes in the neighborhood.
That's different. That's kind of different than what I'm saying. I agree with you with that because that's teaching your neighbor.
They don't take over the neighborhood.
So that's the same thing in my community, right? When I first moved here, I had 3 black sons in my complex in my community, and they was able to tell the difference when nobody was at the pool with them because they were black. Basically, I made the office come outside. I made everybody in the office bring your ass outside, and I told every kid to get out the pool, and I said, all you kids that's non-black, stand on this side. And all the black kids stand on this side. And I said, now for every white kid that's out here, I made the office tell me who was their parent for all the white people that was outside. And now none of them kids had parents out there. I pissed off the whole office. I said, the only reason why you know that, or you didn't know that because they were white and my kids are black. I said, now the only reason I know that none of their parents is out here because you idiots, my kids go to school with them. And I know community and you guys don't. So I agree with Lionel when it comes to that. What I was asking or what I'm injecting when we talk about give back our community, how do we take over, is to not let you get swindled with the red line of selling your parents' house, thinking because it's $100,000 more, knowing that you didn't know the value of your parents' house, knowing that they knew that you would take the easy money versus take what works for us in a longevity.
I would say, Milren, you got a point, but just so happens that our community, we are not gonna have that problem no more because our parents fumbled the bag, right? Our grandparents, they worked hard. My granddad had 4 or 5 houses, car wash, multiple grandparents, right? But the systemic issues because our people have been at war.
Yeah,
we've been preyed upon. Yeah, and so our parents
our parents been preyed upon. Yeah, like
they preyed on them.
Yeah,
with the drugs, the whole shebang. I mean, a lot of different things. The bad school, and so our parents fumbled. But now here our generation is. We woke. So we overcome that because we're not all strung out. They're not gonna come now to the Northeast. We have the houses now that they took from us, like my mama's house that we still got by the grace of Creator, and they knock on the door every day with. My whole block was black, right? We still had those houses. We're not gonna fumble no more. So I feel like we overcome that because now we the generation. We all here down there 40, 50 years old. We are the leaders now.
Right.
So we got that part.
Yeah.
But now I will say this too, D2, just before we go, is that we are in a system because we Americans.
Right.
And so when you consent to be American, are you gonna consent to be a straw man? When you consent to be American, then it's political laws and issues that you need to be abreast of, and you need to be able to apply. Because that's how they've been getting us the whole time. So we need to be in the political realms. We need to be mayors and lawyers, and congressmen, and not Obamas. We need to be presidents of our. We need to be presidents of our city. We need to be voting locally. But I ain't gonna down in on
that's exactly where we have a gap at is in local policy. A lot of us is not in local policy, so when things do change in our community, that's when we kind of react, but then it's too late at that point because we're not involved in local policy to where, we have, we putting people in office, that can, back
even if that shit throw you off, man, all that shit, voting, all that scrabbling shit, that shit throw you off, man, because that's the case. It shouldn't happen every single 4 years, every single 2 years. This shouldn't happen so often. Countries that have been the same thing for X amount of years. It should be going lovely. You keep on going left, right, it confuse the whole motherfucking country.
Whether it's every 4 years, that's not the issue. The issue is you have a House and a Senate that's been there for 60 or 70 years, and so they really running what's really going on. Yeah. They telling us that somebody they telling us how to live when we're 30, 40, 20 years old. 20 years old, and we're taking instruction from a 7-year-old.
Yeah, do you believe that we the majority?
We are the majority.
We're the original people, man. So we was not living like how this system is set up before whatever happened.
So why are we still in the system?
Because, man, we're not on the same frequency.
We got tricked,
we should. Bro. We need to be reconnecting with our Creator and really get back on that frequency. We remember numbers back in the day, like I say, cell phones and technology. It's killing me. I remembered at least 5 to 7 numbers in my head because in everything we learned back in the day, we had to read. We was connected more back then. We ran around as kids in the park. You know what I'm saying? We did that type of stuff. They don't do that no more. Kids are sitting in front of technology all day. I literally have to kick my kids off the game sometimes and just say, hey, we're not playing the game for a couple of days. Because we wasn't like that. We played Nintendo when moms and them said it's dark outside, it's time to come in the house. We never sat in the house all day. I want to go run the streets, play at the parks. We was more in tune with nature and all that type of stuff, man. It's changing, bro. I just feel like because there's not one thing in law or Senate or nothing that y'all can say y'all spirit agrees with.
But us as parents
that don't say we running it and we not standing for it. You say
no, but us as parents, we're putting those electronics in our kids' hands, so we can't fault that generation because we're the ones who's
and that's what we got to change for our generation.
So until we kind of just back off and say, hey, we're not gonna do all this and disconnect, from the system, like you said earlier, govern ourselves. I don't.
You gotta have conversations. You gotta have a system to disconnect from the system.
Yeah, it is.
Yes,
you gotta have a system.
Well, I don't know if I can answer one of the older questions that we was talking about.
Yeah.
I would love to, but there's one thing I do want to say. In order for us to have that king conscious and mentality, we got to stop playing that jester. But that jester role, that minstrel role or whatever it is, that is usually how we get our success. That's how we get our money, we get our fame. And one of the biggest people, I want you guys to take this in a little bit more perspective, get a little deeper. One of the biggest gestures or ministers we had was Bill Cosby. And believe it or not, when Bill Cosby tried to purchase this channel, this national, international channel, all of a sudden, everything in his minstrel past wasn't so funny. It all had to do with money. You know, so at the end of the day, these are the type of things that they do to say, well, you can be Obama, but you can't be Bill Cosby and get the channel. That's where power comes from. We don't own no ports. We don't own no airplanes. We don't own nothing that can make us some generational wealth. And until we get to that stage,
no ownership.
I mean, we have ownership, but we don't have domination. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it's about domination.
We too divided.
And we as collective as we are, we still don't have domination. Whatever that manifestation was,
get to that point.
It got past it. Now we're at a point right now where we're trying to figure out. It's like the youth in this city right now is so divided. They don't realize that they're supposedly doing or whatever they're doing off of old principles that happened in the 60s. And some of them people ain't around to tell the tale to say, hey, young man, don't go down this path, because they're going to see you, they're going to jot you, they're going to hear, and you're not going to be able to own that port. You're not going to be able to buy that airplane. You're not going to fly that plane, because you're going to have something that's going to be against you when they start talking about loans and they start talking about credit or security. They're not going to give that to you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I was just kind of going back to the original thought, and I just wanted to give my piece. You know,
No, I like that you said that, Al. Yeah. But just on the cannabis community, though, we don't want to let them off the hook, right? We want to continue to press them. This thing should be overflowing with chronic. You know, all these farms, all these dispensaries, these brothers got reach, right? They got reach. These cups should be filled up. We should be overdrunk. Yeah. Then we should be talking about ways to assist the community and ways to continue to grow in unison. Right. And so, yeah, and I encourage the viewers, hit that like button if you want the cannabis companies to get behind this great conversation. Keep bringing guys in here like me with lived expertise to talk about real life stuff. Come in, tap in with my guys. Donate some money. If it's a Cash App on there, hit that Cash App for my guys.
Talk your shit.
You
can wake somebody up, man.
I'm gonna tell you this. What's the one of the black strongholds in North Portland? I'm gonna give you a hit by Mayo Hospital. Dawson Park, right? Yeah. I'm in a meeting. They voting on closing Dawson Park's bathrooms. I'm in there though, because now I'm lined up on it.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody that even seen Dawson Park in the meeting.
Right.
So that's why we got to get tapped in with the local. And they locked those bathrooms. And they put a porta potty out there.
Yeah, no, that's
right. But if we was in there, because the meeting was in our community.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, we got to be in there. We got to be active. That's how I saying where we got to push the cannabis community, because they can kick funds back to programs like mine that help these kids, because these kids are self-medicating. And if they can't do that, at least they can have some information to find help with the bag. Come get this bag, but here go the 1-800 number. Right. You know, if you're thinking about suicide or hurting somebody, because a lot of people is self-medicating. Yeah. That's, you know, I don't blame them for it, because it's heavy.
You're allowed to say the Cannabis Cocktails Conversations. We may run over a little bit more. I want to hear a couple more things from my guy Lionel. Man, he's powerful. But first, we'll go to the big money tip from Jay Lit, and then we'll go back to it. We get 2 or 3 more minutes run over.
Let me give you guys the big money tip of the night real quick. It is brought to you by Loyal Brothers Security. For all your security needs, tap into www.loyalbrothers365.com. The big money tip of the night is give you guys a little perk on how to, earn more rewards on your credit cards for those of you who have them. Majority of the credit cards have a shopping portal within their credit card, and when you use that shopping portal, you can receive up to 10% more rewards, even though your card may only say 1.5% rewards. So just by using that shopping portal, you'll gain more rewards, and then you can spend those rewards however you like. That is your big money tip of the night, brought to you by Loyal Brothers Security.
Shout out to little bro security.
Shout out to little boy. I drink to that.
Shout out to little bro security.
Yeah, we trying to run that bag up, man. It's our time, right? We doing it the right way, so they gotta get behind us, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. That's what we doing. We networking, man. Networking. So, like I said, man, it's been a pleasure being on here tonight.
Man, it's been fun.
I kind of want to hear. Can we got some time, camera?
Yeah, we good, man. Hey, it has been a pleasure, man. Like seeing like both of them. Like I said, just grew up in my neighborhood. You know, their neighborhood. You know, too. You know, y'all neighborhood. I share with y'all. You know, I share with y'all. It's your neighborhood. I share with y'all. But watching Al play ball and shit, man. Just going to the game, younger and sitting on play. But then even back then, younger. Seeing, you know what I'm seeing what like Neil do, Pop Warner shit, him, my guy DeAndre, man. I'm talking about Jeff Grace. I'm talking about when the whistle blow and the play stop, you better watch your block. When the whistle play and the play stop, man, whistle blow and the play stop, you better watch your block, man, because they gonna still come clean your shit up. Yeah. Late hit like a motherfucker. Facts. Late hit like a motherfucker, man. Hey, the player's done. On time and late. Listen up.
Still traumatized, man.
Hey, you watching that? Hey, younger, man.
Rub it off for me, man.
In the backyard, the mattress. In the backyard, the mattress, man. There's so many stories we can go back, man, seeing greats like this in Northeast, man, and greats like Al, man, and Al's dad, you know, Jeff, man. Them was I say, you know. You know, Al's dad worked that shit, man. He saved me. He saved me, man, from a lot. He saved me from a lot, man. His dad, man, Mr. Clay, man, was one of the great things, the counselors, and just
shout out Mr. Clay. Shout out Pops.
You know, man.
We love you, Pops.
My folks, great. Man, he's real good with my grandfather, you know, so it was just, man, he saved me, Jeff, man.
That's dope.
He's one of the real big reason why I graduated, you know. He could have did one thing and said, man, you expelled. He could say, you're expelled, you got to go. But he said, because I know your grandfather, I play dominoes with your folks, I know your family, this is your, you know, it's your past.
Jail free card.
It's mine. This is mine, bro. I gotta take it. I gotta keep it. But you gotta come talk to me. You know what I'm saying? You're allowed to set Cannabis Cocktails conversations.
I'm a little bit jealous.
First,
he kicked me out. You know what I used to stay down at his house.
Come. I give him that look. I give him that old school look. Like, hey, man, you say something. You say something. You had the other first one to ask the more out.
Anybody else, any other viewers got some questions? This was a good dialogue tonight, man.
This was amazing.
We bounced through some subjects, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, our main thing was to come on and really shed some light on, you know, the love is stronger. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, man, I've seen you do these two events. And these two events, unity and community, like I said, I had the opportunity to come out there and do some camera work on one. You know what I'm saying? I actually came out to the next one. I'm looking forward to the next one after. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen what y'all doing. You know what I'm saying? I would love to sit down and get some knowledge about, you know, how y'all getting contacts, how y'all, you know, making y'all event, you know, big like that. Because I mean, it's beneficial to our community. When I come out there and see the booths, you know, packed with us, that's what I envision. You know what I'm saying? Like, we throwing this. And that's not nothing to say. It's not, like I said, it's not a race thing with me. It's just, you want to take your home first always, and this is my home. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it is. Nobody's going to feed somebody else's kid if their kid is hungry. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to feed my kids first, and if there's anything left, then I'm going to help the person. You know what I'm saying? And it works like that both ways. You know what I'm saying?
You know, speak too about, I'm glad you mentioned the booth, right? Because all those guys, 90% of them are people like me with lived expertise that have made poor choices before. Now they're business owners, right? So that all the food, everybody in there that's dialed in is gonna have some problems before and then woke back up.
Right.
And then our premise is why we go to different places is to reclaim that area. Lynch Park, how many deaths have been in Lynch Park in the last month?
5 bodies in 6 months.
Come on, man. That's why we went to Lynch Park, so we can reclaim that area. We can help heal some of that trauma with our ripple effect of love, right? Unthanked Park, you know, it's historical.
Yes.
Right? And that's why we went there. So if we want to bring that energy, like, because we contagious. You can come in here and have a bad energy and be contagious. You can come and be a good guy and make everybody feel good and be contagious. So we're trying to have that energy. We trying to just be contagious. So when we leave,
Right.
they still feel good over here.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what Love Is Stronger is, man. Is to show kids that, because I would never walk in nowhere and say I'm an ex or a former gang member. Right. It's complete disrespect to my homeboys, rest in peace, and all the people that I've led astray. But I will walk up to a kid and tell them I'm a gang veteran, right? And I made it through the traumas, and now it don't matter what side I used to be from because they all the same.
Right.
But these are the steps that you can take so you don't make you fall for the same pitfalls. So it's our responsibility, like as kings, to, because even though now we woke, we got a heavy load behind us, right? And so we got to have that walk. Al talking about don't be that jester. Our walk got to be straight up. Right. And then we got to talk to them. I'm still learning that because I still got the yes and masters sometimes. You know what I mean? Because I don't want no smoke because I'd have been dealt with them. But we got to talk to them straight up. Go ahead, Fat. Don't get me going.
One last question for Al. I'm going Al. Let me go back to London. What is one experience in life that without it you would not be the person you are today? What is one experience in life that without it you would not be the person you are today?
Well, I would like to say, I had an experience before like more recognition came to people who were passed away through police gun violence. I was blessed by the grace of God and the divineness of whoever God wanted me to be. I was in 2007. I was detained. I was detained by the police just right around the corner from here, downtown Portland, with a few of my close family friends, and they had us detained, had guns to us, and we almost died through that situation. And if it wasn't for two people who were European white people who were just kind of waiting and seeing the situation, it could have ended tragic. And they were actually key witnesses in the case that me and my friends brought up against the police, the Portland police. That happened in 2007 and 2009, and that was probably one of the game changers in my life, because I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for that scenario. So, and then after that, it just seemed like every year or every 6 months, someone was getting gunned down by the police. It was like that was almost like a wave and a reality to me, knowing that it could have been us, and it was a mistaken identity in the first place. So that could have ended real tragic. And I think from that point on, I have a story, and that's kind of why when I team with Lionel and we're doing what we're doing, I have my own testimony to what things could have did and went wrong had I not known my rights. Had we not knew the right things to say and the right protocol, it could have ended tragic. So that's probably the big thing for this movement.
Appreciate it.
I drink to that. My guy's still here. I'd be lost without him. So
what is one experience in life that without it you would not be the person you are today?
Man, that's a good question, man. I was thinking about that. But I would say the most experience that formed my life is seeing my mother get clean, right? Because I seen her we heroin babies, right? The crack cane was a whole nother, but we heroin babies. So that you don't know heroin, look it up. So to see her come from that, let me know that I could come back from anything. And she used to always say, "You my son, boy, you're a king. You're gonna be a great man." And I was a damn fool. You know what I mean? I'd be like, my mama, she must not know, but she knew the whole time. You know what I mean? And so once I seen her do that, every time I feel, even when I was locked up and they thought it was over with, I got hella tools. You know what I mean? And then it was like, oh no, you gonna get out now. So now, I feel like if I didn't see my mother do that, it's a lot of brothers that get sentences that don't go to law library that could get out. Because they didn't go that first. You gotta go to education on how to read first. Right. Our literacy level low, so I had to learn how to read first in prison. You feel me? But I knew that. Oh no, I'm finna snap back from this. I'm only gonna do 15 years. I probably said, "Oh man, you crazy man? How you gonna get out, man? Watch." Right. You know what I mean? Got down to 15 years. It was like, oh, hey man, I'll catch y'all later. Right. And so so I see my mom snap back. That also propels me, because when she did snap back, she never backtracked. She still loved. She never judged the people though. All the ex-drug addicts, It was nothing for me to see one of my ex aunties on the couch going through her addiction.
Right.
And she would feed her. She was never greater than them.
Right.
So now I'm never greater than my guys because I woke up. You know what I mean? So I done the foolish fools too.
Right.
And so that was one of the things that just seeing her example, straight up, Debbie Johnson's son.
You're alive with 7 Cannabis Cocktails Conversations. Man, with so much power, so much wisdom in the room. You know, my guy Rounds was, you know, he was all ears tonight. He was soaking it in.
Yeah,
He was soaking it in. He's real G's.
Double OG,
man.
triple OG,
He's real
man.
G's right
He
here.
gave me the energy when I seen him. I'm like, we need him. Like everybody need him.
Yeah, we do.
Man, OG, I know
Man,
what
thank
you're
you.
here for.
Thank you all viewers for tuning in. Thank you all viewers for extending everything with us, man. We appreciate y'all a lot.
That like
first,
button.
get a song for that like button. Check out. The anniversary party's coming up. Don't forget September 14th. It's coming up. Tap in live. Tap in live. Tap in live. September. Yep.
February.
First. So you got for us, man.
We're gonna have to do this again, though, man.
Hey, I was already thinking that. I was already thinking
I'm
that.
about to go home and watch this again tonight. But, hey, y'all need to watch this back and listen to those words that Lionel and Alex was speaking, man. You know, they was dropping some jewels on y'all tonight. You know, I'm telling y'all, if you want to find out and hear more, though, tap in with the Love is Stronger. We didn't give y'all a chance to shout out your contacts, man. My bad.
No, it's all good. You know, sometimes we don't even spit them out because we contagious, so they're gonna find us. But just give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm a, you know what I mean? I love you for it. Yeah. LoveIsStrongerInc.com is our website. Love is Stronger Inc. is our Facebook. Bullet Free Weekends on Instagram. Put them guns up and get them funds up. Last of a dying breed, really. Yeah.
Hey, let's go out like this. Let's go out like this, man.
Guns up, get the funds up.
Hey, for our city, man. This is that. Hey, in case y'all don't know though, hey, this mean that guns down, right? Guns down. Hey, it's from my city, so we riding out to, you know what I'm saying, that can't be caught, baby. My city, baby.
My city.
Thank you, Phil, for tuning in. You see that in the city, man, just keep it back.